Okay, guys, I finally got everything back. Like, I cleaned off the dashboard, got all the pixie sticks out of the crevices, and apparently there were just Doritos and Cheeto dust everywhere. It's all cleaned out now. And we'll never know that we had a mess in the time machine.
Which time machine is this, V?
Oh God, Eric!
And my supplier of pixie sticks has returned.
Yay!
And I missed you so much.
We went to the 90s without him.
Oh, and that's where I lived.
I mean, we still had the 80s, though. We still had the 80s.
I don't remember as much of the 80s as I do the 90s.
Because the 90s were tripping balls, man. Totally tubular.
Well, the reason he doesn't remember the 80s is he still had drugs left over from the 70s.
Not wrong.
Stuck in my past, about to relapse. I keep running back to you.
Anyway, though, guys, welcome back to What Grinds Our Gears, the podcast, the only podcast in the world that does all of the wickedy, weird things for family members to do. So, right now, I'm going to do the whole roll call sound off thing. We got, obviously, me, V, your sex ed doctor of the year. I do all this stuff to tell you guys what is and what isn't cool. Like, for instance, animal crushing, not cool. Stop it. Joining me, of course, after his long sabbatical, doing stuff with the family and having the anniversary and having the stuff with the water park. This is the man that is one of the two actual owners of the entire podcast, him and his better half. He is he's Wolverine Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's Andy Dufresne Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and he is Deadpool every Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Hubs.
Woo!
Most,
that was the wrong noise.
Most subdued woo I've ever heard.
It's been a while. Since I was going to ask you, V, since you're the doctor, how do I get rid of this itch that I feel between my legs?
Oh, here's the cream that HR gave me.
Oh, nice.
Keep your hands off Vinny.
Anyway, alongside me and Hubs is, of course, the members of Godhand that have slain their own competition and now have Femto as their newest slave, even having Thanos as their other gimp, now using him as the gimp, so his gimp has a gimp. And their army of hell creatures has now arisen to the heights of even challenging that of the great demons within the bowels of hell. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Shweebs and Phoenix!
Nobody thinks you're psychic now.
Oh my god.
Oh, stop that.
Oh
my god.
My 14-year-old boy says that.
I said it first. I have proof. I've been doing it for 2 years on YouTube. I got it. You got it from me. I'm such a bad example. I'm so proud of me.
And last but not least, we all know that she's actually the true inspiration for Daria. We've all have proof now from the time machine. If you guys don't believe us, you can see all the evidence and all the photographs. She's not only that, but she's also a dimension jumper that does stuff in different JRPGs where she saved the universe 3 different ways this Sunday, helped an idiot with 2 swords save one reality, and helped a blonde spiky moron who tried to save the world after best girl died of a stupid incident in general. And most importantly,
lost her car.
Most importantly though, she is by far one of the most badass queens to ever use the term badass in the badass kingdom of badassness. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Britt from Brittopia!
Woo!
Hello, Britt!
Hello. I don't know why I went with the masculine voice, but that's how it rolled out to be.
Brett.
All right.
Hey, Brett.
What up?
Have you ever seen the movie Dude, Where's My Car?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Getting a little deja vu there.
A little bit.
And
I got it. Ah,
anywho, to everyone wondering what's gonna happen today, well, we are going into the horror movie thing again with us in our monster forms tonight to do something involving zombie movies. Anyway.
I don't know when V turned into Svengoolie, but good job.
Full of fear for my life.
Kind of should be.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's just going to be the whole podcast right there. Oh my God.
Absolutely. You
Oh my God.
started it.
That should be
now
the
I have
name of the
to finish
podcast.
it.
And then with the Vogue. Always with the Vogue.
Squares.
I'll make
So-
a triangle for you.
Zombie movies, though. We all know originally how zombies were created because we've done a whole entire podcast on the creation of them and ghouls in the same family. Sometimes
In Milwaukee.
Well, true. But for the rest of the world, they were either born from being slaves underneath the vampires, which could be just ghouls acting as zombies that eventually become their own vampires if they have strong enough blood, or they're just creatures of the undead brought about by unnatural means, either through science, magic, or through someone just trying to piss all over Stephen King's Precious Flower Bed, and then all of a sudden he uses his Book of the Undead to make you a living zombie. We have no idea which one of the three is true, but if you guys see little Kevin, tell him that his family misses him. So...
Never.
Oh no, we're going Stephen King and zombies.
That and
That's freaking Pet Cemetery.
Oh,
Because those are zombies.
those
They
are
were dead.
nasty.
yeah, but they're buried in
Well,
special cemeteries.
That's right.
Don't care.
They had special circumstances. They weren't
Game.
attacked by Burger Monster Burger.
They were
Okay.
buried in nightmarish soil or some cursed soil or some shit. Who knows?
They'd done.
And watch out for those
Those
freaking mushrooms now, because apparently they can turn you into zombies, according to The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, there is that one mushroom that does that. We went over that in another cast.
Yes,
We've done a lot of cast people.
because they're fun guys.
Yeah.
nasty, like.
Anyway, from everything involving how zombies have been created, naturally, like anything involving supernatural creatures like mermaids, vampires, sometimes golems, trolls,
Bacteria.
jinns, everything eventually becomes a big property to then be put into the big entertainment circuit. And zombies are no different, having stuff of movie adaptations, game adaptations, but we're just going to focus on movie adaptations right now with the zombie franchise. Who wants to start off first?
Has anybody seen iZombie?
Oh, I love iZombie. I would
I have not.
I would honestly live more.
Okay, that is not where I was going with that, but
It's
a little different take on the zombie form. I thought maybe that would be something worth talking about, since we haven't talked about that before.
I'm sorry, but Liv is just hot.
Automatically goes right between the legs, doesn't it, V?
I'm sorry, she's just hot.
Well, he's hoping she eats one of his brains and not the one on his shoulder.
Would make sense.
Anyways, so in iZombie, for those who don't know, if you're scratched, bit, or
Have
otherwise
sex.
have your skin
Castrated.
broken, like you could drink zombie blood, you become infected with the zombie virus, but you're still yourself, right? Other than you're a little more pale and your hair turns white.
Yep, and if you just go full-blown cold turkey without any brains, you go full-blown Romero zombie, as they call it.
Correct. Which is reminiscent of Tokyo Ghoul, if anybody's a fan of that anime.
Ooh, Tokyo Ghoul. I would love to have the powers of a ghoul.
But, so similar, there's a similar circumstance where so long as you can sufficiently feed yourself with human brains,
Or human flesh in certain case.
you do not go full Romero zombie, you stay yourself. But you pick up the traits and personalities of those brains that you've eaten.
Oh,
For
Which is
example,
kind of
actually pretty interesting.
Cool.
For
Which is
example,
actually-
in certain
I haven't seen
episodes for iZombie, Liv has had different personalities where she's been a kleptomaniac, an alcoholic, a daredevil, a douchebag,
A party monster.
a paranoid schizophrenic, a racist, twice.
Anyways, so that's a whole different kind of take on the whole zombie thing that actually me and my wife, once we started watching, really liked. It's a really good show. It's kind of reminiscent of, has anybody seen Eureka?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sort
It's
of.
an old sci-fi show with it's
Yeah, it's
kind of campy, but they do it in such a way that it doesn't feel so B movie rated. It's actually funny and makes sense a lot of times.
right.
I'm not comparing the two as in genre wise, but like the way they're filmed or the way they're made.
It's just one of those things that's just nice to at least see. Is like it's a break of the norm, because from just those on the small screen, on the big screen, there's not a lot of diversity when it comes to zombies in fiction. I mean, the closest we have for diversity was stuff like Warm Bodies, but that's kind of like a joke romance movie for teens.
I like that movie.
Well,
I did too. I did too, but that movie is more like, okay, please don't take this the wrong way. It's more like a nightmare form of Lou Gehrig's disease, where you're just trapped in your own body. You can't control it. You have no control. You can hear your thoughts, but that's all you can hear. And then all of a sudden,
That's how I feel like that's exactly how they perceived it too.
Plus,
and I
Words like
imagine if zombies were real, maybe that's how it would really be. Like, you're still there, but no one on the outside can see it.
Yeah.
see, another interesting
Actually-
zombie movie that took a weird take on it was Night of the Living Dead. It's another comedy. And it's not the greatest zombie movie, but it was definitely one of those that I watched and at first was so cringed. I'm like, I don't know why I'm continuing to watch it, but it got funnier and less cringy as it went on. And eventually they did the big joke of, because all the main characters got bit. So now they're like, oh my God, we're going to become zombies. And then they're like, well, no, that's not how that works. That's not how you become zombies.
Okay.
So they did this big epic scene where she's like, you're going to have to kill me because I've been bitten. So, and she hands him the gun and he goes to shoot her. And all of a sudden, this character who they thought was long dead because he got bit like 30, 40 minutes ago in the movie shows up and is like, no, don't kill her. Zombie bites don't turn you.
Oh, jeez.
It was funny.
When you look at the person and you're like, liar! Bang!
But
Anyway.
but I feel like those small little diversions from the formula are kind of just the diamonds in the rough from the entirety, which is just the standard laissez-faire for zombie films. For example, a lot of people want to debate on whether the creatures from the I Am Legend movie starring Will Smith, not the original one, but the remake, are they just vampires or are they zombies, or if they're just a mixture of the two. Personally, I feel like they're vampires more than zombies, even if in the comics they're more zombie-like, and in the original movie they're zombie vampire hybrid things. But a certain faction of people believe that those are the kind of canon-like zombies that are just roaming around with just the weaknesses of vampires, being like they're ghouls that have evolved into their own sense of consciousness, but still have like their whole thing of they need to feast and then turn if they find a strong enough individual to make their whole coven or society grow. Kind of like how in other horde movies, like in Train to Busan, a Korean film that kind of showcased how a man-made disease makes all these zombies, yet it kind of just still has them as the mindless tropes that just do whatever to feast, and they just turn whatever into their own next member of the horde, where you either have to kill yourself to make sure your loved ones don't get infected, or you just go into the horde to then just become a mindless minion of the undead.
What do you think, Britt?
I haven't seen that movie, but I want to. I like Will Smith. I just wasn't like once I heard it was a zombie movie, I was like, I don't know why. Like I'm a little put off by zombie movies as itself because I feel like it's the same concept repeated over and over again, which is kind of true. But I mean, there's always a like what's the word? Variety of what they could be or what they can't, kind of thing. I don't know. Like I can only name off like really three zombie movies in my head, besides I Am Legend, I think. So 4, I guess. But yeah, that's really my thoughts on the whole thing.
I think if you haven't seen I Am Legend, you should give it a chance. Just because they say it's a zombie film, but then later on in the movie, you figure out that they've actually tribed up. Like there's tribes.
Hi, Jenny.
Okay.
Of these humans or whatever they are. What are you looking for?
Marker. Marker. Thank you.
Bye, Jenny.
Anyways, and they have their own like hierarchy system. They don't like delve way deep into it. You don't find out till later in the movie, but they still have emotions and they care for each other.
Okay.
And much like the way humans care for each other, but they don't identify as human anymore.
Yes, Phoenix.
And on that same subject, if you really want a good ending, I would actually recommend the alternate ending to
Yes.
I Am Legend.
Absolutely.
Not the theatrical ending.
The alternate ending is so good.
The
It's so
reason
much
I
better.
say that is because in the alternate ending, they delve more into that concept of them being a tribe as opposed to them just being mindless monsters.
That and Will Smith doesn't die.
Oh, well, there's also that too. But trying not to be very biased here.
Like he
I don't
just gives
don't want
them
Phoenix
back
lookalike to be dead.
the missing member of their horde, and then they just let him go. They literally just didn't feel right without her.
It was also the alpha's mate.
Yes.
Oh, he's getting her back.
And that isn't that the reason why they kind of let Will Smith go was because he gave her back.
Yeah, in the alternate
Plus,
ending,
he also
yes.
saved her.
So yes, and he also saved her. That's correct.
Granted, it was he also was the one who put her in the state where she was almost dead to begin with.
Well, he's one of the people, not the person. At least he had the balls enough to stay back and say, "I need to fix this." You know, unlike most movie scientists who are like, I can't do it. I created a monster.
At the end, when she's on the table, she's dying because of the cure, quote unquote.
Oh,
cure
yes, that's
he
right.
gave her.
Because of the dog, I
So,
remember. Because he gave the dog the same cure.
So the whole
Sorry.
point is he's trying to fix what he just did so that they could take her back.
That's right. I forgot
Oh,
about
he's
So-
such a nice me.
No, he honestly, I think that was a self-preservation moment. Because if he didn't save her, he's going to get murdered.
that. Right.
Brutally.
Well, I think he thought maybe he'd get murdered either way, but he's like, fuck it, let's try this.
But also a beautiful thing that I just remembered from I Am Legend was the motif of a butterfly. Like, you know how it kept popping up everywhere and it just kind of was like, so it's basically a film trying to illustrate metamorphosis onto the next race of what humanity might be thanks to genetic tampering and whatnot.
I'm sorry, V, but the thing that pops out the most when I think of I Am Legend is Bob Marley's Three Little Birds.
Oh yeah, that song
It
really
was
did
so
pop.
freaking prominent in that movie.
I guess I'm just
Don't
one
know
of
why.
those people that likes to view the symbolism of like hidden stuff in the movie.
Or how about the Batman vs Superman logo on one of the billboards?
Oh
that was-
yeah, that
Like
foreshadowing.
10 years before the movie came out.
Oh, okay. Another thing. For those who have not seen I Am Legend and are going to take our advice to go see it, if you are a dog lover,
You are going to
Or-
cry.
there is a scene where you will cry.
It's not as bad as
Oh.
Old Yeller, though.
Fuck Old Yeller.
At least he
Um,
didn't like straight up shoot him in the face.
Oh
he had
no,
brain-
I got a
Okay,
better
hold on.
one.
Okay, wait.
It's gonna be
Okay,
better
so
than if
we're
people.
gonna debate on whether
Bang!
shooting the dog or snapping its neck in your arms is worse.
No, we're not gonna debate this.
No,
Oh,
guys, I'll raise you. It's better than reading Fox and the Hound, where you see Actually, read about
Oh,
either...
dude, that movie was sad.
No, not the movie,
I can't
the
even
book.
watch that.
The book
That's
where
that
you
was
know
my
how they
favorite
read
part.
about one dog being hit by a train, like, viciously, where it's like you actually read in vivid detail what happens, and
Ew.
then the other dog being shot in the head after years of all this abuse and going through all this hardship from their drunken owner to kill one simple fucking fox.
Which the dog grew up with and thought of as a friend.
No. That's not even
It's a
in the
Disney-
movie. That's just
Disney
the movie. The book, the fox and the dogs hated each other.
Actually, I'll do you one better. How
Okay.
about Stephen King's Cujo, where they describe in vivid detail her plunging a broken shard of a bat into his eye, into his brain cavity to kill him.
Why you gotta bring my dog into this, Phoenix?
Was it a Saint Bernard in the book?
Yes.
Yes.
It was.
Uh,
A very formidable dog, to be sure, but...
we got way off topic again.
Yeah, we
I was gonna
did.
say, why did
Zombie!
you...
Well, no, actually,
Dogs.
Cujo is a zombie who had rabies.
Well, actually, Cujo is now a zombie thanks to the whole creatures come back from the dead thing, like what it
Pet
did.
Cemetery. Well, now that we know that Stephen King's books are all connected, Cujo could technically become a zombie now, right? Zombie dog. So he'd be like Super Cujo. Be
Yeah,
like
Super
Bio-
Cujo coming back from the grave. It came back from the grave twice. Carrie, no one wants to bring Carrie back from the dead because they're afraid of what she'll do.
Fucking at your face, yo.
Oh no, after the
Just set
Pixar
one
incident, nobody wants to fuck around with Carrie.
Hey, let's not forget Christine, okay? The demon car.
I don't give a shit about that car.
And then Maximum Overdrive with the semis and stuff.
Those
Look, I'm not
semis
gonna
were just
paint
weird looking. But anyway,
I'm not really worried about the car. Once it runs out of gas, it's kind of not a problem.
but back to the zombies though.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Well, let's start with the first major one where you felt like it changed the zombie genre for you.
Oh, I got it. I got this
me?
one. I
Wait,
totally
wait.
got this one.
Let me do mine first, and then we'll switch.
Ah, okay.
Mine was Dawn of the Dead. It was the first zombie movie I ever saw where they didn't shamble along like they're half handicapped, but actually did a full tilt run. That was the first zombie movie I saw where full tilt run was a thing, and it made the zombies so much more terrifying. Because before it's like, oh, okay, well, they're going to shamble towards me. I'm going to shove them slightly. Now they're off balance. And then I'm going to kind of fast walk around them.
Like, hi guys, bye guys. Ah, no snack for you. Fuck off.
Exactly. Now it's like, holy...
Like Dead Rising.
Yeah. Now it's like, okay, they have full motor skills and the ability to run than me.
Well, technically, actually, so you're right. The full tilt run thing was new, but rabidness, like being able to move quickly, that's not something new. Night of the Living Dead actually had that. It was more like they were wandering around like they were blind, and as soon as they hit something that moved, they'd go ravenous, right? And then they were able to move fast and whatever to get their meal. It was until it was kind of like The Walking Dead. It was until they smelled that meat or felt that
Like sharks.
life, they just kind of roamed around, right? I just wanted to add that. That wasn't what I was going to say about the zombie film that changed mine.
No, my
Let's
big
do it.
thing was that full tilt sprinting. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all about this. That one-armed Asian in that movie, that actually made me jump because holy crap, he came out of nowhere and he was all about that ass.
Like, I'm coming at you like a good bitch.
He was all about that ass.
Now, is this George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead? Is this the one?
The
With-
one where they're in the mall.
Yes. And the zombie baby?
Another first for a zombie movie, by the way.
The zombie baby, right? Is that what
Yes.
you said? Yes.
Zombie
Okay.
baby.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up
Yeah.
because she was bitten, right? But they killed her, and then the baby was still born, and it was a zombie baby, right, or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, she would. Well, no, they didn't kill her at first. She died during childbirth.
Oh, that's okay.
The husband brought the baby in, and because she had been bitten before that, it was transferred to the baby. So the baby was technically half alive.
Shit! Mine! God! I'm damaging stuff!
Sorry.
Game rage.
So technically the baby was half alive, half zombified. And they didn't show what they did to the baby, but clearly it didn't get past that scene in the movie.
Not like in the sci-fi show that was made by the Sharknado producers. What's the name of that show that you like? Z Nation. They totally blew the shit out of that zombie baby.
Yeah, they did.
Like they could.
But in all respect, that zombie baby was fucking nuts. It was like a choo choo here, there, over. Had all the like special powers of the zombies, which is something that happens in Z Nation. They have special powers. Anyways.
Oh.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Want my zombies to have superpowers.
You heard the part where I said it's created from the creators of Sharknado, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it's ridiculous.
Here's the thing: she hasn't seen Sharknado at all. None of them.
Neither have I.
just recently watched all 5, and they're single-handedly one of the funniest B-rated movies I've seen because they are literally that far over the top.
Well, it was funny because Jenny loves The Walking Dead, right? So she'll watch The Walking Dead as soon as a new season comes out on Netflix. That's what's on the fucking TV. I can't escape it for like a week. And so when it takes like 2 years for the next season to come out, I have to find something to fill that gap for her. And I'm looking on the internet and I find this Z Nation. I'm like, oh God. And I'm reading the synopsis and, plot summary and this and that. I'm like, this just sounds ridiculous. And this is supposed to replace it. And apparently, well, not apparently, because I actually watch it too. It's actually really good. It's funny. It's ridiculous. It's stupid at some points, but at other points, it's like they actually fix their own plot holes. If they don't answer something in the first 3 episodes that you're like, wait a second, how can that be, blah, blah, blah. Like 3 episodes later, they'll go back and explain it. It's like, wow, they actually did a really good job on this. Anyways, Britt, do you even have a zombie movie that you like?
Oh, God, out of the ones that I've seen, I mean, we mentioned earlier before the stream, or the podcast stream, sorry, yeah, me and my streaming, anyway, I did like Zombieland, the cameo with Bill Murray, that was hilarious, like, that, to me, that really was the best cameo I've ever seen. I was like, whoa, okay, 21st Jump Street had their cameo Johnny Depp, that one was a surprise too, but not as surprising as like Bill Murray being in the movie, and the fact that he's not even is a zombie. He's just like, oh no, this is just makeup. I'm just pretending to be one of them. I thought that was pretty.
And it totally works. They have no idea.
Right?
Yeah.
They make it like he's such a good actor that he could just walk around like that, and they believe it.
Okay. First of all, Bill Murray is that good of an actor.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I love Zombieland too. That's my favorite zombie movie.
I also love how they brought him in as a cameo and then wrapped up his cameo very quickly and very, tactfully. They're like, yeah, let's see. We can't have him in here too long because he charges by the hour. So we need to get him out of this scene as quickly as possible. How are we going to do this? Oh, let's have him try and scare the skittish guy with a shotgun by pretending to be a zombie in a zombie apocalypse.
Makes total sense when you're high, okay?
That is true.
I feel like that's what this entire
very
movie
high.
was.
They were extremely
fucking high.
By the way, this also isn't Emma Stone in that movie?
Was she the one who pretty much stole all his stuff twice?
I think I gotta look it up now because I don't want to be wrong about this, but I think this is where I was introduced to Emma Stone and like fell in love with her as an actress, not like V and Liv from iZombie.
After that booty. Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the older sister.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
It's Emma Stone.
She
I just
is
had
cute.
to verify.
I will get. You know what? I will give that. She is very cute, and she's a good, decent actress. So,
You whore.
not gonna make my my safe 3, but definitely a decent actress, and she is cute.
Look, I don't even have a list because I know there's no damn chance in hell.
So you know what a safe 3 is, right?
Like I said, I don't have a list. First
The
of all,
safe
Because he knows better.
For anybody who doesn't
castrated.
know, your safe 3 are a set of actors or actresses that if you or your partner had a chance with
I know.
and could actually sleep with, you would give your partner a free pass, because otherwise there's no way in hell you were ever having a chance with them.
Yes, my sister, who is 12 years older than me, first introduced this idea to me with her husband, not with her husband. Told me about what it was when I was a teenager. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have a dream list like that. But I wasn't married at the time, so I had no idea what the significance was. No, I don't even bother to keep that list around. I burned that list a long time ago.
Well, odds are you're never going to... That's the point of the list. It's not something that you're supposed to be like, oh, well, this will actually happen. No, it won't. But thanks for playing. It's one of those, like, joking helps to get you closer in a relationship, because it's like...
Right. Oh, no, there's definitely, like, Jenny... if Gerard Butler walks up to my front
Hugh
door and it's
Jackman.
all like... Or Hugh Jackman, or Ryan Reynolds, or The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, I would just be like...
Why does every single man on that list sound like your list?
My
maybe
list?
because-
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to him. I was like, that's rude. What the fuck?
No,
I was going to
totally.
say because I feel the same way she feels about them. But, you know...
Yeah, well,
Well,
I don't know.
I
Vin Diesel.
I was gonna say Vin Diesel's on my list too.
I
I
might,
just
I might
feel
take-
like with Shweebs,
I might
you just start
switch
with
it.
like the head of like.
Vin Diesel was on the list, but he lost out after, Ryan Reynolds just
Oh wow.
took
Okay,
over.
yeah, no, that is absolutely the truth, and he would have to be in the Deadpool costume.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So he's like, yes. Yes, he would be. I want to say something to try and bring this back to make me sound a little less gay, but it's like, no,
It's
I
just
would
not
bang
gonna
Ryan
happen.
Reynolds in the
Not gonna
Deadpool costume with or without the mask.
Now, if he brought Blake Lively, it would be even better. But
Oh,
this
Blake
is terrible.
Lively and
Way
Ryan
off subject. Way off subject. Never
Way
gonna
off.
happen.
I'm just like sitting here like,
Zombies!
well, I'm just gonna wait. And then all of a sudden just went to like the Safe 3 discussion. Like, this isn't like when we were talking about the romance podcast. I don't know how long ago.
All right. I want to go now. It's my turn. So you
Okay.
want to know what zombie film did it for me? What changed my perspective on zombies?
Yeah.
Oh my.
My Boyfriend's Back.
I want to see that.
Nobody fucking expected that, did they? Nobody. The look on Phoenix's face right now says it all.
That movie.
Okay,
No,
so
that's what the look is. I am honestly trying my hardest to remember that. I don't know that movie.
it's a movie made early 90s, I believe.
Early 90s, late 80s.
And I think I gotta look it up. I'm not sure because I don't want to get it wrong. But I've seen the movie, and it's the first zombie movie that I saw that didn't have like the ravenous zombies or the shuffling zombies or whatever. Basically, what happens is this boy and girl in high school sweethearts or whatever. Her boyfriend dies. She goes to the funeral. He gets buried. Blah blah blah. I forget if there's like a witch or something in the movie that she goes to, or maybe it was like a psychic or something. And it's kind of like, you know how in Big he goes to the machine and wishes for this thing, not expecting it to happen? Well, she kind of does the same thing, and then her boyfriend comes back from the dead. Only he's now a zombie, right? So-
Waloo.
Andrew Lowry. I don't know who that is. I don't know if he's even acting anymore. Anyways,
Is you related to Mike Lowry?
I don't know. Anyways, so her boyfriend comes back, but now he's like faced with all these other problems. She's scared shitless because he's supposed to be dead, and like body parts are falling off.
Ooh.
Like his ear falls off at one point, and he's still him. It's still him. It's still his personality. He's still there. He's conscious, right? He's
Hold
not
that
like
thought. And
Damn it.
Dance to that whole thing that you're mouthing about Phoenix. That's a Bad Boys reference. Continue.
Thank you.
Yes, Bad Boys. Mike Lowry.
Just watched the movie recently, and I was sitting there going, Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry.
Bad Boys 3 is coming out. Apparently, is in the works.
But back to the movie, Aaron.
Yes, please.
Anyway, so her boyfriend is fully conscious, only he's undead. He's a zombie. And he needs to eat things to survive. So the plot twist here is he eats all of his girlfriend's like love interests to stay alive. And if he doesn't, he falls apart. Like body parts start falling off and things like that. But he's still himself. And I haven't seen the movie in probably 2 decades. But suffice it to say, that changed my perspective on what a zombie could be. And Britt, if you're wanting to see it, you should see it. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel like it would be it would be a funny movie.
It's totally campy, and it totally feels like a B movie, but it's
What's
funny.
wrong with B movies?
There's nothing wrong with B movies. It has some actually.
Everything's wrong with B movies. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? The first Saw movie was based on the concept of a B movie, and look where that went.
Well, got
Now.
it has Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. It has
Philip
Matthew
Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. It has Matthew Fox in it. Which I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but he's actually more famous now than he was then, which would make sense, I suppose.
The name sounds familiar, but I haven't seen any of his works lately.
It
I
has
think of Michael J. Fox when you say that, but
it has J.O.
Wrong
Sanders, which you may not know, but he was in The Day After Tomorrow. He was the scientist with Fuck. How did I forget his name? Quaid. Randy Quaid? Not Randy Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Aha! Ha! So there's pretty famous actors in it. Edward Herman. He plays the head vampire in The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. No, Edward Herman. Oh, no, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
The head vampire, the old guy, not Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no, that doesn't sound right, because Keith Sutherland was the leader of the
No,
vampire.
he's the head Lost Boy.
Yes.
Edward Herman plays the head. He's the.
Rats.
Yeah. Anyways,
Three.
nobody expected my boyfriend's back. That's why I said it.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
What's the Spanish Inquisition?
All right, V, it is your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
it is your turn. Roll.
You know, as like a film student, I've seen so many movies. It's kind of hard to tell which one like reshapes something for me, because I'm also a critic, which means I also break down stuff to be like, this is terrible, or this is amazing. AKA most of my YouTube career.
Not
But
everyone's career though.
yeah, but everyone else is just like, I'm gonna do a beauty makeover thing for you right now as we apply this eyeliner, and then we're gonna just apply this.
What's eyeliner?
I don't fucking know anymore.
That black schmutz people put on their face.
Doesn't have to be black, Shweebs. Jeez.
The only cool kids wear the black stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Anyway, I think the zombie movie that actually did like reshape the game for me wasn't really something that was put to theaters, but it was like this student film I saw that one of my friends made when they were going to school to make movies. I have no idea.
You're
what
friends with Sam Raimi?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me? You saw The Evil Dead before any of us? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
My god. But no, it wasn't Sam Raimi. It was just this it was this independent zombie movie. They got like a C for the film, but for me I was just like, it's kind of interesting in the concept, because it was like this one person is a zombie in a world where it's only all humans and he's the only zombie. He spends every day of his life just trying to maneuver through everything. He's not feasting for brains nonstop. He's just shuffling by, trying to act as human as possible. But by the end of the whole, like, 45-minute film, he's actually just sitting there. He hears, like, some people, like, knocking at his door as just, like, a whole... It turns out to be like a fearmonger thing because he feels like he's alone in the world, but it's just like people now knocking on his door, seeing how his skin has just been decaying secretly throughout the whole film, and he literally takes his own life as the screen turns black.
Well done.
Well, that's dark.
Wow.
Wait, we're talking about zombies. It couldn't really get much darker.
I mean, I know.
Okay,
not a lot of people.
I'm sorry, V, I don't mean to interrupt, but speaking of that premise, where he's the only zombie in a human-filled world, it brought up a movie that I saw a long time ago, and I cannot remember the name of it, but in this film, it's people are keeping zombies as pets. Like, the zombies are doing the work. Fido, is that what it is?
Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's no different than having a tiger for a pet.
Have you guys seen Fido?
No.
Hell no.
There was another one I thought too that I saw that fuck it. Back to you, V.
But I know a lot of people were just like, this is just so pretentious. Who would ever believe that this film would ever make it anywhere in society? I mean, I was just sitting there like, this is actually pretty interesting.
Shut up, Andy Warhol.
I did not expect to be blown away by all this stuff when I was just seeing stuff like, in the meadow, we have this one leaf falling. It falls into the gust of wind to go into a new story. I'm like, motherfucker, what is the story with this film? I've been sitting here for 5 minutes.
That's when artsy becomes too artsy.
But with this other film, like, this actually seems pretty cool. I would want to see a full-blown film of this quality, and that made me open up my mind to, like, what would stuff with zombies kind of be? Like, I then started looking into other things, then started seeing, like, hybrids of things like what ghouls are, what Zhengxi are technically zombified vampires, you know, the hopping vampires from Chinese lore.
I know it's off subject, and I know we've talked about it before, but I think my favorite portrayal of vampires is an Interview with a Vampire.
Love that.
Anne Rice made the best lore for vampires. Let's be honest here.
I don't know. I do like Nosferatu, and the whole
That was a good old movie.
The whole idea behind, well, the whole premise behind it was that Nosferatu was real.
Yep.
Like, if you've seen the John Malkovich movie about the movie, like they went
was real, yes.
Yeah, they went to this country to find this old man who was just weird. Everybody thought he was weird. Turns out he was actually a vampire, and they shot this whole film with an actual vampire, not realizing that's what he was. And that was kind of the lore behind the whole silent film, was that the guy that played Nosferatu was actually a vampire.
I think you're missing the point of the premise, if I may. I think the entire premise of that movie is, in fact, that flickering lights are scary.
Thank you. I was gonna actually say
Wait
something.
a minute. If that was you on the phone and then at the door, what was with the lights?
I have to agree with you, Phoenix. I was taking a shower the other day, and Jenny ran in because there was a thunderstorm, and she's like, "Are you sure you should be taking a shower?" Because there's lightning striking everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. The house is grounded. They did a thing on Mythbusters. And then the light in the bathroom started to flicker, and she's like, I gotta put my phone down.
If we're gonna go weird vampire movies like Nosferatu, or zombie movies, let's get back to the zombie genre, shall we?
Yes. Let's get back on topic.
Let's talk about one I watched, which was B-rated, and as much as it was supposed to scare me or apparently excite me,
wait a second,
it's happening the whole time.
Did Shweebs ever go?
No. I did not.
Guys, we gotta do better than this.
Because the guys were talking about the zombie things. We're like, okay, look, it's me eventually.
Oh god, we fucking skipped over.
Yeah, go on.
We didn't even get to Shweebs.
Okay, my favorite zombie movie is Zombieland. Twinkie guy stole my heart. That's awesome. The weirdest, I haven't seen a whole lot of zombie movies because it's not really my thing. I'm more into like ghosts and stuff like that. But the one zombie movie that fucking I at first was like, they can't be serious, and then I was like, oh wait, it's a fucking spoof movie. I love this. Is Zombie Beavers.
Oh, Zombievers?
That's
is on
a
Netflix.
G-rated movie. It's fucking glorious. Your typical, everything about it is a typical horror movie. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Oh dear God, zombie! Wait, it's a beaver. The best part, when you get bit by said beaver, you don't just become your regular zombie. Oh no, you become a humanoid-sized zombie beaver yourself.
Oh my God.
You get a teeth thing. You get a fucking tail. You get
It's
the
like
long-ass
Tusk.
claws.
Oh God, you look like Timmy Turner.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which-
But the worst part is you drool like ew. It looked like just ew. You don't have jowls, but it's just like, why is there that much drool? That makes no sense. I don't approve.
So well, technically not a zombie movie. I have to bring up Tusk because I watched it with Jenny
Why?
like couple weeks ago.
So,
I had
About
to.
a week ago.
It had Justin Long in it,
that's
and I
very-
love Justin Long because he's
Ow.
fucking hilarious. And this movie, like I think it really scarred Jenny, to be honest with you.
It scarred the people that made it. What are you talking about?
The premise of this movie, just for Shweeby, is this guy ends up getting applying for a job, ends up going to this house to
Oh, no.
end up being.
He didn't apply for a job. He applied. He wanted to interview this supposed legend in Canada that went out
That's right.
hunting walruses, and
What?
it was misleading because the guy wasn't actually hunting walruses, but that's what the ad in the newspaper said, and just the character of Justin Long's like saw this ad in the newspaper for this guy applying for somebody to come and hear his story. Was like, oh, I gotta hear this. It's about walruses and how he's like in the midst of them, and apparently like his ship got wrecked, and these walruses came and ate all of his crewmates, and he was the only survivor.
Cause yeah, that shit happens.
And to be fair, this whole premise was based off of one episode in a Kevin Smith podcast on a joke about walruses. That's how the whole story stemmed.
Wow.
Was a joke about walruses, and it turned into a podcast crew finds this advertisement in a newspaper, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go interview this guy because this story sounds freaking nuts, and he goes up there, come to find out the guy's like Hannibal Lecter, only wants to turn him into a walrus, and successly turns him into a walrus surgically
Turns him into a walrus.
Oh my God, it's
Also, it's like the human centipede thing.
But
But
worse.
but with a
That's
walrus.
But with
Actually, I was
the-
thinking about that one island where it was a person lures people in like a promising paradise, and then overnight he turns them into monstrous creations.
Yeah, the Island of Dr. Moreau. That's a great movie.
Good movie.
I love that movie. Ron Perlman's in that movie.
No,
but we
thanks.
gotta get
Let's
back
see.
on topic, guys, because
Zombies!
Yes. Now that
Shweeby!
Shweeby's gone. Wait, did you go? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, back to what I was saying then before I was rudely interrupted.
Oh
shut
Jesus! We've been talking
Shut
most of the
the
crowd. Yeah. We should just
Stop.
shut up and let Britt talk for the next 5 minutes with Shweeby.
Exactly.
Wait, Britt's still here?
Yes.
I'm still here. Yeah. I learn a lot every time I'm in these podcasts. I swear. It's like, oh, this movie? I never seen it. Oh, you should watch it. It has this and that in it, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. That another.
we have like
another
the
to
real
add
life
to the list.
Daria and Jane right now. Okay, we have the real life Daria and Jane.
This entire time I'm playing
Hey.
Final Fantasy VII. So
As long as you're enjoying being here, we don't care.
yeah.
You want to know a
It's-
movie you should add to the list? Night of the Naked Zombies.
Of course.
You've
Night
already
of the
said
Naked
that.
Zombies. Let me
You
say.
already said that, Phoenix.
No, I said that before we actually started. Remember?
Yeah, so
Remember.
there.
So
It's
Oh.
not any better than
Stop
Zombievers.
chewing
Like,
on my
guys,
chair.
remember
Actually-
we were in the middle of our HR meeting about sexual harassment because Kenny in accounting was hitting on Barbara in human resources, and then it got all awkward because then they had to do the same seminar together, and we're just sitting there like, can we just go now? We have a show to
Stop.
record.
Damn it, Kenny. You bastard.
Ooh, Britt, you said you were playing Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, I'm grinding to fight against Ruby and Emerald.
Are you
Weapon.
excited for the remake?
Yes, I actually in my finale stream, since I just finished the game too. I asked everyone like, hey, anyone have a video request or let's watch an animation or something like that, and someone was like, have you actually watched the remake trailer? And I was like, no, I actually haven't. So I watched that and I was like, oh wow, it's amazing. It looks wonderful.
Well,
I know we've had the
prepare to
pre-order.
wait.
Yeah, we've had the
know.
pre-order since last year, when it said it was going to come out this year, and then they said, no, we're not going to bring it out this year. We're going to bring it out next year. So
See,
we've
that
been,
was a big
waiting.
fat lie.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's paid for. We have they're going to give me the fucking game. God damn it.
Like, you see the look on Aaron's face. You guys don't see it. We see it. The look he's giving on his face is like, do you know what we're dealing with? We got this shit on lock, son.
What is the? I will come to Square Enix and I will fuck shit up.
I'll fuck you if I don't get what I want. God.
What is it? There's somebody goes to the Dragon or Funimation headquarters and steals like all the Dragon Ball memorabilia. It was like a skit. I forget what the hell it was. Oh yeah,
Oh,
I do
that
that.
was
I'll
a
do
skit?
that. I'll
Oh.
go to Square Enix and I'll break in and I'll just start stealing shit and run
I'll steal
away.
all their Final Fantasy stuff. Like, you'll fucking give me what I want. God damn.
Cloud Strife is my favorite Final Fantasy character. You will not take this from me.
Zach Fair was better.
I'm sorry, Aaron. We can no longer be friends.
Hey, I said he's my
But can
favorite. I
we
didn't
always
say
be
he's
family,
your favorite.
though?
Always be family. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be your friend. Not if you're like, oh, freaking Cloud is my favorite. Well, you clearly have poor taste.
Oh,
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
damn.
I can't help it. Your favorite.
The correct answer for Final Fantasy VII of any kind is Zach.
Thank you.
no, it's not. It's Sir Orin. Fuck off.
That's
No, that's Final
Do you-
Fantasy.
Do you know how many people?
No, that's Final Fantasy.
Best
How many
girl
people
Eris.
are saying Sephiroth?
We should
Okay.
just end the conversation now.
I'm just saying for Final Fantasy VII.
Crisis Core shows that Zach Fair was a better, quote-unquote, first-class soldier than Cloud ever was.
Yeah, well, I never
wasn't
played Crisis
first class
Core.
soldier, though.
I never played Crisis Core because it wasn't the original freaking game.
But it set up the original game.
I don't care.
It's not the same.
And it also set up the backstory for why Cloud is a huge loser.
Actually, it sets up a lot
I
of stuff like
have
why
to
the
agree.
Turks are
Cloud
still
is-
looking after Aerith, even though it's just like, oh, it's just an assignment. We don't really care. To just be like, we're looking after her because Zach was plowing that puss like no tomorrow.
Go ahead, Britt. Pile it on. Pile it on,
Oh.
Britt. You go right ahead.
Shoot, what did
Come
I
on.
say? Oh no, I agree.
Sorry,
I
Cloud.
agree with you that with Cloud, like, you're like, oh yeah, he's pretty cool in the beginning, since I just obviously finished the game. But like, as you go further into the story, you're just like, what, Cloud? What's wrong with you, my boy? And then you find out that Zack is the one who was really in Soldier and all this stuff, and it's like, wow, Cloud, you're really looking
Zach
bad right now.
took out 3 other first-class soldiers by himself. No
Yeah, he
army,
did.
no nothing. Took out an army by himself. Helped do the entire Wutai war as a
Dang.
huge compliment. Took out 1 to 2 forms of Bahamut by himself.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
And then he gets gunned down.
Yeah, because he was
Such a way to
protecting
go.
Cloud.
Like King Leonidas.
Exactly. He went out like a boss.
And what's the difference between the two? Cloud's still alive.
Yeah, because Cloud was in a coma
mean,
the whole
wow.
fucking time.
They suck.
Ow.
Different.
The only reason Cloud is still alive is because he was crying violently in a corner and then stabbed Sephiroth in the back with Zack's sword. That is
After
the
Zack
only
did all
reason
the work.
Cloud is still alive.
Wait. Zombies!
Right. We got distracted.
He's a zombie.
Your face.
Hey,
is
I don't
zombies.
make fun of your Doctor Who. Don't make fun of mine. Fuck
We didn't
face.
talk about Doctor Who.
Unless Doctor Who's a zombie. Zombie.
He could
Anyway,
be. He always
zombies,
comes back
yes,
as a new
yes.
person, right?
No. Zombie.
Okay. I'm gonna take the floor here, guys, because apparently I got like enough focus right now.
Eccleston.
Nothing.
So, with the stuff involving how zombies have been portrayed throughout all of history to where it is today, the oversaturation for what I feel about zombies is the biggest gear that's being grinded by not only myself, but to a lot of people at large, because it's not a big novelty anymore, because there's literally zombies everywhere. Merchandise, games, movies, cosplays. There's nothing you can get away with zombies now, because they've overused the trope in so many formats, the same way you done with vampires and werewolves, to the point where it's just so exhausted that you can't find any real nuance unless you actually stop the trend now for like a good few years, so the resurgence can come back in full in a better limelight. Like, am I the only person that actually thinks that?
No, I think The Walking Dead kind of. I think The Walking Dead kind of. I was done with zombie movies and zombie shit, and then The Walking Dead came out, and I was like, God, no. And everybody's like, no, you've got to watch it. It's different from everything you've ever seen. You've got to see it. You've got to see it.
It's not.
And then I watched it, and I got hooked, but not because it was different. I got hooked because I liked the story and I liked the characters. The zombies were still the same. It was still a freaking zombie movie, just spread out over the course of 9 seasons now. So I think The Walking Dead has done a lot to kind of kill my whole zombie buzz. And I agree with you, V.
Like, we just need like a detox of zombieism so we can actually appreciate zombies again.
You know, what we need is a re-envisioning of the horror concept, because everybody is so caught up in the tropes. It's like, look, yeah, we do like zombie movies. We like vampire movies. We like slasher movies. Can we come up with something that's in a completely new title?
How about...
But do you
let's
trust
give-
anyone in this generation to do that, though, is the bigger question.
Well, we're here.
But we're not in Hollywood. That's the thing.
But we could be. Think about it. Think about this. Universal's trying to relaunch the monster line, right?
After the fail that was...
I know.
The Mummy.
Just listen. Just listen. Okay, they did Dracula. Dracula, it didn't necessarily bomb, but it didn't...
Actually, Dracula Untold, although contrary to
I
popular
really
belief,
liked
was a
that
really
movie, by
good
the way.
movie.
I
It
agree.
set up
I
a
like
good.
Dracula.
It set up a good set up like a good series of movies if they were to keep that as the canonicity instead of like, oh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is making this team.
So let's go back to vampires, right? And then how they create ghouls, which is where the whole zombie concept originated, right?
Correct.
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, so let's take that. Let's give the zombies a backstory. Let's say they're not just undead. Like this is one way to become a zombie, right? You're bitten by a vampire and entranced or enslaved by him. But then, like V brought up earlier in the podcast, what if that ghoul, you know, or one ghoul in particular, let's focus on one and give him a main character status, kills a vampire or a being, another monster in the Universal Monster Universe, whatever, on a much higher level than him, maybe even higher than the vampire that bit him, and he becomes like full-blown, like turns into a powerful being, you know, a powerful monster. Like the zombie is the start. Zombie is your base Saiyan form, but you can move up from there.
This isn't even my final form.
It's over 9,000.
I mean, it's a beautiful concept, Aaron, don't get me wrong, but for the way Hollywood is today with the oversaturation and re-envisioning of stuff that really shouldn't be re-envisioned...
Come on, they soaked the shit out of Underworld with that shit. The hybrid werewolf vampire. Come on. We could totally do it for 2 movies.
We could, but I just don't trust the climate the way it is now. If we were to do it like independent, yes, where it's not in Hollywood, I could agree to it. But Hollywood itself...
They tend to like really just make it like, ugh, God, another one of these.
You guys are right. It was just something I threw out there.
No, it's a good idea, Aaron. It's just we need like the right climate for it. A good enough independent studio would be like, we're gonna give you independent funding to do this with all the creative licensing.
I mean, like a Deadpool kind of thing.
Yes.
Well, I have no
to
money.
the right person who we know will do justice.
Justice. Justice! Now you sound like My Hero Academia.
I have not
Oh.
seen.
I
My
like that anime.
goodness!
You haven't
Oh,
seen My Hero Academia?
my God. I've
You
not
gotta
seen
see
what?
My Hero Academia. You haven't seen it?
Todoroki's
I'm
my spirit animal.
super behind on animes. I have people ask me all the time, so what like recent anime have you seen? I'm like,
Todoroki's my
Black
spirit
Season two?
animal.
that's literally the last
Wait,
anime.
who's
I
your
saw.
spirit animal?
Todoroki.
She's the frog. She's the frog lady.
No, Todoroki is
No,
the one that controls
Todoroki's
fire and ice.
Icy hot, yeah.
Oh, I am sorry. Icy hot. I'm
Suyu.
sorry. You
Sue,
said
she's the frog.
Todoroki, and I heard Toad.
No, no, we're not talking about second best girl.
I'm sorry. I'm so
Good
sorry.
job.
We're not
Good
talking
job.
about second best girl, Aaron. After all, we
My
already
God.
know who first best girl is, right, Britt?
I still need to figure out what happens to what is it? Sachan? Sachan? How do they say it?
Sacha?
Kachan?
Sachan?
Sacha?
Oh, Kachan's fine.
Sachan!
He's fine.
Well, in the most recent episode that I've watched, he's been captured by the...
he's fine.
He's fine.
Although I feel like Dabi is Todoroki's missing older brother, but we'll get into that in a different podcast. We're going to mark that for the next anime podcast set in November. Mark that on your calendars, folks.
Ooh!
Because
Dude, but
zombies!
V! There's more Dragon Ball shit now!
I know, that's in
Yeah,
November. We
that's-
have a
They're
whole...
actually... They're actually bringing Broly into canon. They're
I
like
know.
force feeding it to us.
I know. They're bringing
You know what that
Broly.
means? We're a step closer to Super Saiyan 4.
I know.
That's
Did
what that
that
means.
already.
That is
I
what
don't
that
care,
means,
but
but
they
they're
have
not
to
canon.
canonize it, and they have to figure out whether.
I thought fucking GT was. You know what?
It's canon in
Zombies!
its own timeline.
It's a parallel, yeah. It's like a parallel time universe timeline.
It's
Is
like
it
if
not-
Beerus
Oh,
never
that's
came
blue,
to Earth or
that's-
woke up in time, kind of timeline. That's
Yeah.
what GT is. If they
Yeah.
were to intertwine it, it's like Xenos was just like bored, like, hey, what would happen if we combine the timelines? Hey, that's a good idea. Doo.
And the whole reason behind that is because Toriyama stopped writing DBZ. He ended with the Boo, and then his son picked up the GT saga.
We've covered this in like multiple podcasts.
Yes.
If you guys want to check it
Did
out.
the-
We have
yes.
a playlist located on my channel somewhere.
Anyways.
Because zombies!
Shweebs is just keeping stuff on track today with
Trying
zombies.
to.
Good
Zombies!
at this because we are all
Usually-
over the place.
I know we are.
We've
Like,
covered
I'm gonna
so many
interrupt
topics
you
and
all,
hinted to future
spirit animals.
podcasts going on right now, which is
Oh, Phoenix.
What?
Oh
Fucking
my good.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally on the Sony store.
Is it?
Happy for this.
It is. The
Zombies!
pre-order
I'm
is
just
I
gonna
don't
throw out my
have
papers and walk out the door now.
PlayStation.
No,
Aren't you guys glad I'm back?
B brought up spirit animals, and I finally figured out who mine is.
Who's it?
Who?
It's Sans from Undertale. It's my spirit animal.
Funny bastards, the most of
Never played
this
Sans.
He is
But-
terrifying when you make him mad, but when he's happy,
Guys.
he makes 50 billion puns.
Guys, though.
Yeah, it is.
Zombies!
Exactly! Zombies!
Okay, where were we?
He's a skeleton. Is that close enough?
Remnants, or revenants are
I
nowhere
guess.
near close to zombies. Those are skeletons. Skeletons and zombies have totally different classifications.
What are Draugr then?
Draugr are the in-between.
I want to point out, if all of the flesh rots off a zombie, does it become a skeleton?
Yes.
Then it becomes a
Absolutely.
revenant.
Technically, a skeleton is merely the evolved form of a zombie.
We're not
Evolved.
using
This
Digimon
isn't
logic,
even like
sir.
final
Form of a
form.
zombie.
Oh
My
Well, hold on.
Wait.
Technically, wouldn't the
zombies!
skeleton be the base form?
Talking about zombies.
No, you're not. You're talking about skeletons. You lying
Which are the
whore.
evolved form of zombies.
Hooker.
I
Are you
win.
sure it's the evolved? Would it not be the base form? Because the skeleton is the base for everything
It's
else
just
that
like,
we wear.
and this
Yes,
is
but
to
time-
go even
Wait,
further
wait,
beyond.
wait.
Doesn't become a zombie.
Ah!
Zombie becomes a skeleton.
Wait, does that mean we are inherently
We are-
zombies?
Yes.
We are reverse zombies.
We're
Because
reverse
we're not
zombies.
dead.
So we Did the chicken come before the egg? No, the human came before the zombie, and then the zombie came before the skeleton. But wait, there's a skeleton in us first, so therefore.
But
the
in
skeleton
order
came
to
before
be,
the human.
in order to take the
Yeah.
zombie, and then, in order to take the zombie and turn it into a skeleton, you have to use a sunstone.
And Shweebs, I have to bring this up because I actually read an article on it the other day. The chicken did come before the egg came before the chicken.
Although the egg was
Hey.
technically a dinosaur.
No, the egg had to come first.
Yes.
Because what laid the egg was not a chicken, it was something
It was a
higher
dinosaur.
in the family chain.
It
Okay,
was
that actually makes sense. But
it was a reptile that laid
Zombies!
the egg, and then what was hatched from the egg was an evolved form of that reptile, which became the chicken.
Exactly.
so
But-
chicken
And
lizard
this process
Guys.
happened.
So it's like
Uh,
Pokemon over the course of billions.
Guys, zombies!
Zombies.
I want to point out, I was doing the Pokemon thing with zombies and skeletons. Even mentioned a sunstone, which is what's used to rot the flesh off and turn it into a skeleton.
Okay.
So
okay.
there, you can thank me later, Pokemon Company. There's your new Pokemon. You're gonna make a zombie that
They're
turns into.
not
Oh my
gonna
God.
use that. Sit
They've
down,
already
Phoenix.
They've already done the whole theory with Jigglypuff and the fucking evil one that looks just like Jigglypuff, but he's evil in purple, and I forget what it is.
Gengar.
That's
you mean
it.
Wiggly? No, it's not
He's
Wiggly.
purple, has red eyes.
But Fairy and
it's
Gengar.
Clefable.
But guys,
Yeah, that's Gengar.
Gengar.
Zombies!
Zombies! I'm not
Oh, you're right, not Jigglypuff.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It wasn't
wait.
Jigglypuff.
You guys are
Okay,
terrible.
I know.
this I have to say.
You love
it's
it.
zombie related. So
Okay.
when Phoenix and I were in college years ago, there was some kind of project we were doing. I don't remember what the fuck it was about, but we decided that we were gonna go on 10 different beliefs as to how the world would end. I came up with something called, and trust me, this goes back to the zombie thing. It's called Burger Monster Burger, which causes zombies to be a thing. But how it happens is Burger Monster Burger itself was something happened at a McDonald's or a Burger King or some fancy burger joint. Someone didn't fucking wash their
Oh,
hands.
yeah, because McDonald's
Burger
is a
Monster
fancy
Burger
one.
actually became a thing, and people who ate the burgers didn't turn into Monster Burger. They just became zombies who followed their Lord and Leader Savior thing, Burger Monster Burger.
Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yes,
Exactly.
but they have zombie minions, and then they tell it to do stuff, and it shoots pickles. I
Or-
drew this fucking
or-
thing.
So it's like the
Wow.
Burger Monster from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too.
I actually have.
No, it's mine.
I have an old-fashioned zombie movie.
So proud
It
of
was
you.
called The Stuff.
The stuff.
The
The
stu-
stuff.
Come on, it is old. That is an ancient.
I would name my zombie movie The Taint.
No, it's actually
Just so you know.
I'd
they
be
end up
down for
finding
that.
this gunk that was bubbling up from the ground,
From the taint.
and and they started mixing it with ice cream
Ew.
because it tasted so delicious,
I know.
and
what
it
movie you're
took
talking
over, and it
about.
technically killed its host, but then possessed them to continue to keep them to. It gave them a need to consume the stuff.
Like
It was
Cryptosporidium.
disgusting. I remember
It was
that.
the most amazing movie ever, but technically the person who's moving around and talking is dead. The only thing left is the urge to continue to produce and eat the stuff.
Sounds like something from a fucking, what is that called? Soma? From A Brave New World?
The sad
A
part
brave
is
new
it's from the
world.
late 60s, early 70s, so it is that old, and yeah, it was.
Did anybody catch the reference besides singing A Brave New World with a song?
I got
No.
the reference, but I didn't get it, so I moved on.
Okay, well,
We know.
I don't want to get too in depth on it. It's kind of like an Orwellian tale about future dystopia. So you've seen We Happy Few, correct? The game?
I have.
Have you
taken
Mark's
your
been
joy
playing it
today?
recently.
Picture We Happy Few, the video game, is a novel actually written way back called A Brave New World. But in
Have
A
you
Brave
taken
New
your
World,
joy today.
joy is Soma.
Come on, take your joy today, Aaron. Take your
Anyways.
joy.
If you like to read, it's a good book to read. That and 1984 and any of the other dystopian novels written in the 50s, 60s. So,
Yeah, That was delicious.
But man, we've covered so many topics. We've covered like 65% zombies, 35% our own shit. So congratulations, guys. We're improving.
Yay!
We're able to stay on topic for 65% of the time.
Oh my.
Who says kids with ADD can't be protective? Who says that?
Zombies!
Right, we've already set up a
Zombies.
future podcast.
Shut up, Vinny. We're supposed to be talking about zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah, blame Vinny, you dillhole.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
not
know this.
talking about him now.
So this isn't a zombie movie, but it was one of Jim Carrey's first movies, and it's a vampire movie. And I want to know if anybody's seen it. The whole premise is he fucking goes home with this
28
chick.
Days Later?
No, Jim Carrey?
Oh, no. Sorry. I was thinking something else.
Wow.
No, it was.
That would not have been Jim Carrey.
No, that wasn't Jim Carrey. I don't know why. I was anyway.
Aw. I don't know when it was. I think it was made in the 80s. I'm not sure. It looked like he was still on In Living Color. He was really freaking young, okay? Anyways, premise is he goes home with this girl after a party, and she's like much older than him, and he's like a teenager, and he's all like, yeah, I'm gonna score. And she like bites him down there. And then the whole rest of the film is him transitioning into a freaking vampire. No, nobody's seen it.
So from ghoul to
Jim
vampire.
Carrey is in it. Damn
I
it.
definitely know that I have not seen it.
And everybody should look up. Everybody should look up. This one is zombie related. It is called Boltneck, and it is from Ryan Reynolds.
Boltneck just sounds like a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah,
Found it?
yeah. It's ridiculous. I haven't actually technically seen it.
That makes me worried, though. And you're like, you should go see it. And I'm like,
No.
You haven't
I'm
seen it.
not recommending that you see this movie. It's just that recently Deadpool, specifically Ryan Reynolds, has been making jokes about it in his
Tweets.
no, in his promotions for Deadpool. There's specifically a commercial with David Beckham that he does, where David Beckham insults the movie Boltneck, and Deadpool's like, "You take that back!" And then I looked up on YouTube some of the clips from Boltneck. It's like a reverse Teen Wolf, right? So somehow, I forget, this kid accidentally kills his friend and then tries to bring him back to life. But when he brings him back to life, he brings him back to life with the soul of a really bad person.
This sounds like a bad fan fiction.
right.
Oh, come on.
Might have to watch this just because, you know.
It sounds hilarious, but I'm like, the plot sounds like a bad fan fiction.
Yeah, but anything with Ryan Reynolds in it is worth at least.
It's worth it, but I'm just still saying it just sounds like a bad fan fiction. It's like, and then my friend had the soul of Adolf Hitler.
Well, it wasn't Adolf Hitler, but
With herpes.
and maybe this will steer you
better.
away from it, but Ryan Reynolds' performance in the film reminds me of Dane Cook.
I like Dane Cook. I might have to watch it then.
I think I could get behind this.
I could. I like Dane Cook.
I'm surprised. That was
shit
not
on ghosts.
That was so much shit on the. Oh, I haven't seen that special in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
TV didn't say anything.
Oh no, I'm just now just like, well, guys. We all know what time is. We've been doing this all month long. They're just dropping hints and clues and shit everywhere. But not the shit at least. That was like when we went to the.
Come on.
That was like during the
I fucking
1950s fair they went to last Thursday. Anyway, so we dropped the hint of someone in the podcast is getting married.
Aaron?
Yeah. Yes. Again. Toads my goats.
We told everybody who Amethyst is. That was a mind-shattering thing. So, guys, since this is the month of September, technically when this is being released, I'm going to tell you all this important factor that is something to do with the podcast at large. Is just going to be something that's going to be involving a few of these people being a lot closer to do stuff where it's a little bit easier to start filming on a weekly basis more and more. And with that, all I can say...
Got money on my mind every day. Please don't play with mine, put it in the bag. Usually I can leave it in the past. You won't make me have to show my ass. Ooh, I can love you till the sun comes up. Let me love your body down. You don't even really gotta ask. I'ma love you better than the rest. Ooh, say something, say something.